Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau leading Canada like a wartime president against Donald Trump's reckless and dangerous threats. Prime Minister Trudeau continued to talk about how sovereignty is not on the table. In no way will Canada ever bow down to Donald Trump. Here, play this clip.
You previously said that it's a real thing that Trump wants to annex Canada. How serious or urgent would you classify that threat?
Let's be very clear. Conversations around a 51st state are a non-starter. It's never going to happen. But we have to take seriously what the president is saying and fold that into our thinking as we continue to stand up for Canada.
Powerful words right there. And we know there is a massive boycott underway in Canada, boycotting all American tourism, boycotting all American products and goods. It is a scarlet letter unless you're absolutely forced to in Canada to buy anything America or to travel to America. Let's go to France, where there you have French President Macron slamming Donald Trump's plan to ethnically cleanse, let's just call it what it is, Gaza. Here, watch this.
Today, a humanitarian situation. So we have the ceasefire, we have to preserve it, we have to restore humanitarian operations, and we have to save maximum number of people. But now the right answer is not a real estate operation. This is a political operation. Just because this is not a free land. This is a place where 2 million people live and want to live. And just because international rights and a lot of treaties and agreements we negotiated, and even the US, did recognize this right. So you cannot say to 2 million people, okay, now, guess what? You will move. The whole story of humanity is made of tiny part of places where even less than 2 million people were ready to go till the end because they wanted just to stay. So I think we have to stick to our principles. Sometimes in this world, you have the feeling to be so old-fashioned when you speak about principles. But I will tell you, this is the humanity. And the civilization is a process. And the process of the civilization is that you learn generation after generation. And this is how you improve yourself. And we did learn that you can get rid of people and just push them out of their place when they have a legitimate right to live in their place, being recognized by everybody. So I think we have to respect the willingness of Palestinian people to have a state, and we have to respect Jordan, Egypt, these sovereign countries, because they want their security, they want to keep their borders.
And then you go from Macron to former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson speaking at the World Government Summit in Dubai, so in the Middle East. He says, you know what? Maybe Mar-a-Lago would be a great place to put the Gazans. Maybe we move everybody to Mar-a-Lago. Watch this.
You know, I actually happened to be giving a speech in Florida the other day, and I looked at the beach at Mar-a-Lago, and I thought this is absolutely fantastic place if you wanted to resettle, you know, millions of people from the Middle East. Absolutely beautiful, lots of space here, but it's not going to happen because somebody else owns it, and Gaza is in law owned and occupied by people who have a right to be there. So that is not going to
But it's
happen.
destabilizing to suggest it when you've got, for example, King Abdullah. You've got the Egyptians, and you're threatening aid. Whether or not this is just open thought, let's have a wonderful thought about what might happen. It's destabilizing.
Well, but what Hamas did, frankly, was destabilizing.
And by the way, I'm not the biggest Boris Johnson fan, but when it comes to defending Ukraine and when it comes to stuff like that, you got to admit he is witty. And at least on those issues, you know, there's something to be said there. Let's talk about the leader of the Liberal, Ed Davey, a member of Parliament right here. Here he is talking to Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and I love the way they do this in the UK. And Ed Davey's asking if Starmer had reassured Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that he could not be bullied by Trump and Vladimir Putin after Donald Trump capitulated to Putin in the Oval Office yesterday. What a horrific scene that was, where Donald Trump bragged about his call with Putin and basically said he was going to give Putin everything. And Donald Trump said that he didn't view Ukraine as like an equal partner, and he blamed Ukraine for Russia's unlawful invasion. Let's watch Davey play this clip.
If Ukraine is forced to surrender its own sovereign territory to Russia, it will be the greatest betrayal of a European ally since Poland in 1945. But President Trump says Ukraine may end up Russian, and he wants American money back. I think we all fear where this could end and the dangerous implications for our defence and our security. So can the Prime Minister reassure this House that he and other European leaders have given sufficient support to President Zelensky so that he can't be bullied by Trump and Putin into accepting a deal that will effectively hand victory to Russia?
Prime Minister.
As he knows, I met President Zelensky in Kyiv just a few weeks ago at my 8th meeting. The position since the outbreak of this conflict has been a united position across the House of supporting Ukraine, and I was able to reiterate my position, which is we must put Ukraine in the strongest possible position. That matters now just as much as it mattered at the beginning of this conflict, the strongest possible position, and I did discuss with him what more we can do, what more our allies can do to put Ukraine in the strongest possible position.
And here's another powerful speech right here from Ed Davey saying that the government needs to draw plans to tariff Tesla right now. Elon Musk and Donald Trump should not be allowed to bully the UK while conservatives and Nigel Farage cheer them on from the sidelines. Watch this.
80 years ago this week, the Allies began a pincer movement against German forces between the Ruhr and the Rhine. British and Canadian troops attacked from the north, Americans from the south. British, Canadian and American soldiers fighting shoulder to defeat fascists. 80 years on, President Trump seems to have forgotten all this. His tariffs against steel and aluminium will hit Canada the hardest and will also hit jobs and the cost of living in our country. So in reminding President Trump who America's true and long-standing friends and allies really are, will the Prime Minister also prepare a plan for tariffs in return, starting with tariffs on American electric cars?
I got to follow Ed Davey a little bit more now. He's reminding me a lot there of Charlie Angus, member of Parliament in Canada. And I think we need the Anguses. We need the Davey. We need this type of energy right now internationally. Let's go back to French President Macron. Here he is taking a swipe at Donald Trump at an AI summit in Paris while calling on attendees to choose Europe for their business needs. Play this clip.
Last year, we exported 90 terawatt hour, 90, which means we can localize a lot of data centers on top of what we need in terms of electricity for our own companies, our own households. So it's very important in this world where I have a good friend in the other part of the ocean saying, drill, baby, drill. Here, there is no need to drill. It's just plug, baby, plug. Electricity is available. You can plug, it's ready.
Folks, some interesting data coming out of Canada as well. It was previously projected in the polls that the Conservative Party was going to win. There was the snap elections, but now it seems that Liberals are projected to win a majority if Mark Carney is named the party leader. In addition to Carney, there's a deep bench. There's an energy around the Liberal Party right now, I think, as Prime Minister Trudeau is also leading as a wartime president and passing on the baton. In addition to Mark Carney, who was a leader of a bank, he's got incredible CEO bona fides. You also have Chrystia Freeland. And let me just show you how they are reaching out to the people in Canada. It is rallying people against Trump and against American fascism. So Chrystia Freeland's running for the prime ministership and become the leader of the Liberal Party. Here's what Freeland has to say. Here, play this clip.
I have a message today for President Trump. If you force our hand, we will inflict the biggest trade blow that the United States has ever endured.
And here's Chrystia Freeland doing what she does best, taking on Trump. This is on CNN. Let's play this clip.
Dollar for dollar retaliation. Any tariff imposed on Canada, Canada will respond to, and our response is going to be smart and targeted. The tariffs the U.S. is threatening Canada with are across the board, and they're going to hurt you. Take aluminum. Aluminum is basically electricity in solid form. And in imposing a 25% tariff on Canadian aluminum, you're hurting yourselves. You're putting a 25% tax on electricity, and you actually need more electricity today in this AI race with China.
Yep.
Our retaliation is going to be a lot more surgical than that. We are going to go after American stakeholders who matter to the White House. I have proposed a 100% tariff on all Teslas. I am calling on all the countries that are affected by this tariff to join us, and our retaliation will target specific Trump constituencies. Another group that we're going to go after is Wisconsin dairy farmers. We know how important they are for the president, and we're not going to let them sell their products in Canada anymore. But I also want to say to you, Aaron, we don't have to do this.
Yeah.
We have a balanced, mutually beneficial relationship with the United States. We think the best path is to continue with that relationship. I was Canada's lead negotiator the last time Trump was president, and we had a lot of fighting and a lot of insults. But at the end of the day, the tariffs were lifted by the United States. We got a trade agreement that Trump said was the best deal ever. And today, the president campaigned on saying he was going to go after China. He campaigned on saying China is an unfair participant in the global economy and has overcapacity in steel and aluminum. We think the president is right about that.
This is the ad she cut, Join the Fight for Canada. And she's calling out Pierre Poilievre, the conservative right-wing Maple MAGA guy who had been sucking up to Donald Trump all this time. Let's play it.
I'll let you in on a little secret. Donald Trump doesn't like me very much.
Canada. We don't like their representative very much.
I'm a tough negotiator. During the first Trump administration, I fought hard to protect Canadian jobs, the Canadian economy, and our way of life. And we won. I left Trudeau's cabinet because I know what we need to do to win that fight again. Donald Trump and his billionaire buddies think they can push us around. Trump thinks we're for sale, but he can take what isn't his. I'm not going to let him. We're a proud country. The true north, strong and free. A country of smart, caring, and hardworking people. A country that gets big things done. A country worth fighting for. But Pierre Poilievre, he'll bow down to Trump and sell us out. This moment matters for all of us. I'm running to be leader of the Liberal Party and our next prime minister. I'm in this to fight for you, to fight for Canadians, to fight for Canada. Join me. Join the fight.
Now contrast her and also who she's running against. I mean, Mark Carney's great. Liberal Party. He's running for the prime ministership. Let's play this clip.
Well, the first thing is we have a lot of cards. We're keeping them close to our chest. We'll start playing a few. Those decisions are for the current government. I've been in close contact with our main negotiators, our foreign affairs minister, our finance minister, who've been in Washington, our public safety minister has also been down. We will take steps. I think it's reasonable to expect in the immediate term that we will match dollar for dollar the U.S. tariffs. We will target our tariffs against those goods and services that will most affect the United States. and least affect Canada. But to be clear, this will have an impact on the Canadian economy, and that impact will be felt more quickly and to a greater extent than the U.S. But Canadians are in no mood to make any concessions here. This is entirely unjustified, and we have many other options that we don't want to deploy, but we will if we have to.
And here's the ad that he's running. Let's play it.
You can't stand up to Trump when you're working from his playbook. Pierre Poilievre has been a politician his entire life. And in all that time, he hasn't fixed a thing. He just complains, misleads, and blames everything on someone else. I'm not a politician, but I've always been a liberal. Because liberals believe that people are free to make their own choices, and your government should protect your right to live the life that you want to live. But we also believe that good governments empower their citizens to build great things. We can build the strongest economy in the G7. We can build bridges between each other. We're a proud nation of builders. And now, it's time to build.
And here's the statement that came out from the European Union. Let me read it for you. Ukraine's independence and territorial integrity are unconditional. Our priority must now be strengthening Ukraine and providing robust security guarantees. In any negotiation, Europe must have a central role. In the statement they put out, we're ready to enhance our support for Ukraine. We commit to its independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity in the face of Russia's war of aggression. We share the goal to keep supporting Ukraine until a just, comprehensive, and lasting peace is reached, a peace that guarantees the interest of Ukraine and our own. We are looking forward to discussing the way ahead together with our American allies. Our shared objective should be to put Ukraine in a position of strength. Ukraine and Europe must be part of any negotiations. Ukraine should be provided with strong security guarantees. A just and lasting peace in Ukraine is a necessary condition for a strong transatlantic security. We recall that the security of the European continent is our common responsibility. We therefore working together to strengthen our collective defense capabilities. Now contrast that to what Donald Trump disgustingly said in the Oval Office. Let's play it.
Do you expect Ukraine?
Say it, what?
Do you view Ukraine as an equal member of this peace process?
It's an interesting question. I think they have to make peace. Their people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace. I said that was not a good war to go into, and I think they have to make peace. That's what I think.
Horrible stuff. Oh, let me lead you out here with another clip by Charlie Angus, member of Parliament in Canada. Play this clip.
Well, I really don't want to waste a lot of time trying to deconstruct the idiocy that exists in Donald Trump's brain. But wasn't it just a week ago we were going to get a 30-day pause? And a week ago wasn't the threat fentanyl, the supposed narco state that Canada is, and now he's focused on steel imports and aluminum. So again, to the American industry that's dependent on massive access to steel and aluminum through all the sectors of the American economy, well, you might want to call Donald tomorrow because he's just thrown you for a loop. He's certainly thrown our communities for a loop in the steel and aluminum sector. But I think what's really fascinating is that nobody in Canada is surprised. I mean, did anyone believe this guy? His word could be trusted. He's a criminal. He's a convicted predator.
There you have it, folks. Hit subscribe right now, and thank you for all of your support. Have a good one.